ghost town.
Just a quick note before this video starts, something is very wrong with my audio settings in the last video, so I apologize for the gain boost and the poor audio quality from that last Prime Day video. Anyways, just go on to the video now and enjoy it. Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've drafted up a $500 HTPC, aka Kill Your Console Thin and Light Edition, that's long names for the win. The highlight of this build is definitely the case, which works perfectly as something small and compact that'll fit right in with your TV and the rest of your systems in your media center. The build is definitely not meant to be a 4K system, but the list can easily be changed to accommodate more powerful hardware. So without further ado, let's get started on this PC build. For the CPU, we went with an Intel Pentium G4560, 3.5 GHz dual-core 4-thread processor. Right now it's about $80, but I've seen it go as low as $60. So we don't need a lot of power for this system since we are going to not be playing the most demanding games, and we can also use it as a streaming machine. So I think that a dual-core 4-thread processor is just perfect for this. Next up is the motherboard. We got an ASRock H110M Mini ITX motherboard. It has built-in Wi-Fi, which is going to be pretty handy since you don't have to get a dongle. It has 2 DIMM slots, and we are only using 1 stick, so you can upgrade to 16 gigs of RAM later. And it's single PCI X16 slot, so no SLI Crossfire sadly, but you don't really need it in this kind of system. That's $70. For the CPU cooler, we went with the CryoRig C7. That's a 40.5 CFM CPU cooler, so it should be more than sufficient to cool our CPU in the small case. That's $30, so it's a great value. As for memory, it's standard fare, 1 8 gig stick. That leaves another DIMM slot, so you can upgrade it to 16 gigs of RAM later if you need to. For storage, we're on a tight budget here of $500, as you know, so I had to go with a 500 gig, 2.5-inch, 7200 RPM drive from Seagate, which should still be more than enough to fit some games on it, though you can always upgrade it later since the case has room with an SSD or a larger hard drive. For the GPU, we went with a low-cost $120 Radeon RX 560 2GB. That's the Gigabyte model, so it's got pretty good cooling. It's dual fan. It's good enough to keep it cool in the case. We don't need a lot of power for this living room PC since more likely than not it's not going to be a primary game rig, and if it is, then it can still play AAA games at decent settings, just not maximum. You can always swap this out for a 570, 580 when they get cheaper, 1060, whatever you need as long as it fits the length requirement. For the power supply, we have a Silverstone 300 watt, 80 plus bronze certified SFX power supply. That's $50. It's not modular or anything, but if you have some extra money and you really care about keeping cable clutter down, you can opt for a Silverstone Strider Gold 450 watt, 80 plus gold, fully modular power supply, so you can keep the cable clutter down. Now for the highlight of the build, it's the Silverstone ML07B HTPC case. This isn't like some other HTPC cases where it's just a huge box that leaves a lot of empty space inside. This is compact. It's meant to look like a console. Don't think of that as a bad thing because it'll fit in with everything else on your shelf. I think that one thing that a lot of PC builds neglect about a Console Killer PC is that it has to be a reasonable size. It has to be small and compact, because a lot of people don't like to have a huge box on their shelf. More and more you're saying consoles, they just get smaller, so why can't a PC? A Console Killer PC is more than a more powerful box that you put on your desk. It has to be a living room system. It has to be a social system, something that fits in with the rest of your media center, because that's important to some people, is to have a nice looking media center. So thank you guys for watching my PC build guide video. I hope that I've helped out any of you who are looking to build an HTPC in the future. So if you like the content, feel free to like and subscribe so you can see more of it. Of course I'm going to make more PC build guide videos, but I've also got other stuff in the works. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.